people realizing, my God, there's CCTV cameras there. Chhaddo ji, na karo, CCTV.
In a perfect world, we would have all those things. But the truth is that we do live in an imperfect world. And coming back to your question, I do think that we do need to trust the system. You know, there is a certain, you know, there is a need of trusting our system. So that
while I agree that trusting the system is all important, but the fact of the matter is the system itself is not sensitized enough to the importance of reform as a process, and more importantly, in a country that's struggling to find funds for various things, reform is given the least amount of funds, and therefore even stations that would like that don't have it. However, there's two beacons of hope here. One is officers like Kabir Bedi. What she did in Tihar jail is a model for what can be done if the will is there. Secondly, now that the government has empowered corporations to have 2% of their profits devoted to corporate social responsibility, perhaps reform of these inmates and jails could be one of the areas in which corporate responsibility can be applied.
And the last question, he's been raising his hand from some time. I have two last questions. Okay, let's make them quick, please. We have one there. Yeah, there are two last questions. That's an oxymoron, doesn't exist.
Hi, Kabir, and hi, Nishit. I think Kabir answered my question. I want to ask Nishit a question. Do you approach like corporations for funding for Childline? And if you do, then why don't you approach them to make reform homes for juveniles as well?
Yes, those such reforms home are in the government domain. So we are not allowed to put money into it or sponsor those things. But yes, we do seek money from corporates and from charitable organizations and trusts around the world for our work as well as for shelter homes.
So is there are there any shelter, like is Childline, does it have a reform home in Bombay?
No, like I said, reform of juveniles who are sent to Juvenile Justice Board is strictly in the government domain. So it is not in the private domain. The private sector is not allowed to shelter such children who go into to JJB and find some kind of order in the JJB for them.
Would it benefit if it was privatized?
I don't know. Look, I mean, we all say these things that, private sector is the best in all these things that you do. But, in reality, it's really a mix of both. There are many government officers across government who do very good work. Let me just give you an example of schooling. The Central Board of Secondary Education runs a Kendriya Vidyalaya network across the country, which serves the defense forces, serves families and government. It's one of the best examples of schools in the country. Standardized, uniform schooling across the country, neutral to extreme influences of either in pedagogy or in local politics, they're neutral to it. So they run very good. So it's not as if the government can't do good work. Lots of government can do good work.
Absolutely, I second that.
But because, it's a public-private partnership that often produces the best. Childline is an example of public-private partnership. Ministry of Women and Child supports us. We are a PPP model. We run Child Helpline. It's a duty of the government to provide access to a helpline to country under the UNCRC. And this works very effectively. It's the world's largest child helpline.
Let me give you a closing example. I was just in Ludhiana, and I met the IG of police in Ludhiana. And he said to me, we have decided to install 4,500 CCTV cameras across the city. And I said, how are you going to bear the cost? He said, the cost is each shopkeeper will pay 500 rupees towards this, and the whole program will be funded. So that's an example of private-public cooperation, where an innovative Inspector General of Police, Pramod Ban, started a measure, got public support, set up things. So now that comes under deterrence, because people realizing, my God, there's CCTV cameras there. Chhaddo ji, na karo, CCTV camera dekh layega, bach ke raho zara. There's a deterrent element that comes in. And that's what I'm saying as far as the Juvenile Justice Act is concerned as well, which is that knowledge of this will be a deterrent to those who might have. Of course, you cannot completely prevent crimes, but God knows how many crimes you have prevented by people realizing, especially 16-year-olds realizing that, my God, we could go to jail for a long time for what we do if we don't watch out. So deterrence is a very important aspect, as is, as we said, reform.
Thank you. With that, we'll come to an end. Sir, we'll have to come to an end due to paucity of time. Okay. You want to... Okay, because I have some, as the moderator for today, I am also constrained by time. You got to understand that. So if you have any questions, you can pick it up with them later on also. And I would like to thank all of you for being out here with us. And I would request our panelists to please stand up. We'd like to give you a big round of applause for being out here with us from all the team members and everybody here.
Thank you all for being here.
And thank you for taking time out. And all the best to Gumrah for the coming season.